Hello and welcome to Funny Science Fiction, the live edition.
Hello, beautiful people.
What?
Is it the music still going? I think it sounds like the music's still going, like it went twice.
Unless you're hearing Kathleen's.
I'm
Hearing Kathleen.
What? Do you have it played on your phone?
No. And even if I do, I don't have my volume on.
Sounds like a dog whining.
That would be my dog, who is currently outside and has been told that there's a person coming for her. Person, the dog. Anyway. Yeah, we have a show, right? Mm-hmm. Are you still like... Alrighty then. Well, that's how tonight's gonna go. Is Nick in the bathroom? No.
Nick is actually in a sterile environment.
He's joining us from the government testing facility, where they have decided that they are going to test to see whether or not he is a lizard person. Oh my gosh.
I don't know what's going on, but I'm hearing everything like in a 3 to 5 second delay.
All you're hearing is Kathleen's dog.
No.
No? Okay. Well, let's... Anybody else hear it? I don't hear it.
Nope, never mind. I'm an idiot. I figured it out. Okay. Would you like to know why I'm an idiot and why I could hear it playing in the background?
Yes.
Because okay, so tab open?
I had my YouTube channel open.
Oh gosh. No, what I was laughing about and muted about so quickly is my neighbor's huskies deciding they need to sing the song to their people outside right now.
I'm hearing everything on like a 3 to 5 second delay. I'm like, what in the bloody hell is going on? Why am I hearing this? I'm losing my mind over here. Anyway, now that you guys have gone through 2.5 minutes of Tim being an idiot and trying to figure out what the crap's going on in his life, welcome to the Funny Science Fiction Podcast Live Edition. The podcast where if it isn't funny, we probably left it in anyway.
As is evidenced by the last 2.5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh God. That was fun.
Woo! We're good.
And before we get into tonight's show, we need to say thanks to our show partners, Bridgeworks Studios and Level Up Lightsabers. Or Level Up Sabers.
Level Up Sabers, yes. However, our new friends over at Bridgeworks Studios have yet to get their crap together to make a video. Timothy.
Rude.
Accurate.
Rude.
That is what I aim to be. Accurate, but rude.
Accurately rude.
But we do still have the wonderful video from Level Up Sabers. So let's roll that beautiful nerd footage. And even though they don't have an intro video yet, the link for Bridgeworks Studios will be in the comment section below as soon as Tim does it, as well as Level Up Sabers.
So, there we got that going for us.
Yes, I do have extra.
So yes, we have decided that Nick is in a government testing facility where they are checking to see whether or not he is a lizard person.
Shh.
Fair enough.
Which is why they gave you a plastic bonsai tree, because they didn't want you to eat a real one.
Oh, I always love it when you can hear the show going off the rails before we've introduced our guests. It's always a good time.
I'm sorry, we need to just
no, I led the charge in it.
Can we upgrade to a hover train?
I led the charge in this, so I can't really complain. All right, I also want to remind, if you guys are still sticking around and you've gotten this far and you thought for whatever reason this was still an entertaining show of some sort, please take a moment to subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, it helps us out greatly. And that subscription means a ton to us. If you'd like to help us by means of financial support and you want to help us to afford, there's a Freudian slip, afford making content, that you can enjoy, please use the link here, and you can go to the coffee site and buy us a coffee, and that of course sends a little bit of cash our way, and we're able to continue moving forward. So
I mean, if they want to give us enough that we can avoid making content too, I understand.
you know, sometimes the Freudian slips are the accurate things. It's not what you meant to say, it's how you said it. So
You meant one thing and said what? Yeah, exactly.
yeah, where we did the one thing at the one time with the one thing. So, but yeah, please subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and if you'd like I said, if you're so inclined, you can help us out with a little coffee cash.
And let's welcome our guest tonight. Our guest to tonight's podcast.
This is all kinds of awesome.
Let's welcome our guest tonight, podcaster Chris D.T. Gordon.
What's up, Chris?
Hey, everyone.
Hey.
Good to be here. I'm glad you're sponsored by Freudian Slip, where you meant one thing and you said your mother.
Exactly. Thank you for
See,
sticking around.
this guy gets it. So, what's up, Jason? All right, who else we got back there?
And we also have
He's still
from
here.
TikTok, Ben Reilly.
What's up, Ben?
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Ben.
Hi.
Thank you for sticking
Couple
around.
questions.
No, we are not
Tim-
taking questions at this time.
Are you sure, Tim? You good?
I think it's in my best interest not to take the question.
Okay.
Hey,
I
John.
do have
I'm
a
pretty sure
question
only
for
one of
Nick,
us is
though.
actually drinking tonight.
What? Why did I just get a call from a government research facility? Literally on the caller ID, it said GOV research. The moment Kathleen said that you're a lizard person, I'm a little afraid now. What's
Well,
happening?
To the dear
Are-
NSA
are you
agent that is
actually in,
being
like-
forced to watch our show, thank you for being here.
I am noticing that Nick now has a striking resemblance to Patton Oswalt from the Foil video.
Yes.
You remember that?
I don't know if that's a compliment or not. Hey, you saw that tongue. We already have a Trandoshan. We don't need another.
Oh boy.
Jesus.
Why
All right.
is it not an option tonight? There it goes. Sorry. Nothing. My full screen button wasn't working.
Nice.
But anyway, before we get into tonight's topic, would you lovely gentlemen like to tell us more about who you are, why you're here, and where you have gone wrong in your lives that this is what you're doing?
Oh, I don't think we have enough time to cover
Well, the
that
more we
last
talk,
part,
the less
but
we have to.
I'll do my best. I am Chris D.T. Gordon. I met Tim about a year ago, roughly. I'm a fellow geek, as you can tell from my Ninja Turtles / Deadpool picture and my picture of Weird Al. I'm also a podcaster, as stated before. I have the Scar Bears podcast, not Scarred Bears, though that is visually amazing. But I talk with other survivors of physical and mental trauma. And I also teach. I'm a professional speaker. I'm a newly minted soccer coach. That's why I was almost not here on time. And just a crazy bald guy.
Fair enough. I can attest to all of those things. He's pretty good at all of them, especially the ball guy thing.
Yes.
He's rocking it.
Thank you. I do what I can.
You're doing it well, sir.
Thank you.
So apparently tonight's topic is Nick needs therapy.
That is every night topic.
That's a running
Every
topic
night's
every week.
topic.
I would like to take this opportunity to go back to the introduction of Moon Knight, and you're like, I could see how walking on glass would be entertaining or enjoyable. I think it was the word.
Mhm,
Anyway,
mhm.
Wouldn't it
Ben-
be easier to say which one of us doesn't need therapy?
No,
Honestly, yeah, that is a much easier way to go about it. I'm pretty sure
The answer
the
is
majority of the population needs therapy at this
some
point.
right,
way or
except
some
for
form.
the aliens who have somehow figured out how to be the functional adults. They're the only ones with
Yeah.
a manual.
I think that's Secret Invasion. I think
exist.
Marvel's actually doing that now.
It could be.
Probably
We don't know what the plan is for Phase 4. But anyway,
Ben, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself?
hi, I'm Ben Reilly. I'm on TikTok sometimes. Yeah, I am a nerd. I do cosplay. I do basically just kind of everything nerd related. I got my water bottle with. Hold on. There we go. Trust the Force.
Ooh.
I'm also currently wearing my Green Lantern ring, so I have
You have
become
your
one
Green
with
Lantern
nerddom.
lantern.
I don't, and that probably would explain why this thing doesn't work.
Mm,
Yeah.
that would
I keep sitting there in traffic, just like, please, come on.
And brightest day. And brightest day.
I need the battery first, but anyway. Yeah, so I do a bunch of nerd stuff. That's about it.
Excellent. All right, so we'll try and have somewhat of a realistic conversation tonight, not just Tim talking all over top of everybody.
Is it possible, though?
It happens every once in a while. You pull it together. All right, so our topic for tonight's live show is called Sell Me a Sci-Fi. So it's a little game. We've played it before, but we have a couple of new, well, we'll say people because anything else would sound not nice.
faces, and that just makes everything questionable again.
Yeah, I was going to say, new victims, but, again, that sounds not as nice.
It is also assuming that we are people, of course.
Exactly. Nick does another lick towards his
He
microphone.
did look up at that.
He's
just like, wait, what? Who? Me?
I'm just trying to figure out how to blink sideways. Like,
Men in
All
Black.
right.
Nick, can you do me a favor before we start?
maybe.
Can you touch the bonsai tree to prove that you're actually there? Because it does look like just like a fake background, honestly.
It's too far away.
Oh, it's a hologram. I knew it.
There it is. There it is. It
Okay.
moved. It moved. All right. So the point of Sell Me a Sci-Fi, the way this game works is that each of us are going to have picked a sci-fi coming in when none of us knows what the other one has picked. And so we might have some duplicates of movie titles, but that's okay. But what we're going to do is we've all picked a bad sci-fi movie that in our opinion is a bad sci-fi, and we're going to try and convince everybody else by our description to watch it and then give them a chance to guess what it is at the end of our description.
Wait,
Okay.
we are supposed to think it's bad?
Well,
We're supposed
it's
to smell it.
cheating or it's
Because I picked
hacking
my favorite sci-fi movie.
So that's okay.
I
because
totally
sometimes
misunderstood the assignment, and I will not be changing my answer.
Well, no, sometimes even this is a horrible movie, but I love it.
Oh, I'm gonna get flamed for my pick, so it's okay. I'm okay with it. So, yeah. So whatever you picked is fine. We'll just roll with it. It's not a big deal. I just typically pick a bad sci-fi because that way it's a little more fun to hear how people describe it and if people can catch on to it. But all right, so up first in the hot seat we have Nick. Nick is going to explain to us what his sci-fi is, and we're going to try and figure it out.
Earth has been invaded by a race of souls who inhabit human bodies, stripping them of their memories and identities. It is the way the alien race survives and spreads. Although we meet a character who has some sort of a glitch and is inhabited by an alien soul, but still remains inside their own head and has their own identity. This leads to interior conversations between the soul of the character and the earth of the character. The soul of the character falls in love with the earth of the character.
I think I know what this is, and I'm afraid.
So it's not supposed to be possible, but sort of like she goes to kiss him. Not that I'm gonna give it away. She goes to kiss. Character goes to kiss another character, and the inner voice says, "No, that person's from another planet."
Uh-oh.
It is set in New Mexico. There are some surviving humans that are living inside an almost extinct volcano. And yeah, there's some action in there. There's a love story between the alien and the character and the character and another character.
Well, I officially have nothing. Ben, you said you thought you knew what it was.
I thought I knew what it was, and then he said New Mexico, and I'm like, that ain't right. So it is vastly different than what I thought it was going to be.
Okay, what do you think it was?
The fact that I know this exists is terrible. There is an anime where someone's hand turns into, like, it's a dude, and their hand turns into a woman that they fall in love with. That's horrible. The fact that I know it is bad.
In a nutshell, why I don't watch anime.
Listen,
Oh,
there are
no,
good
God,
anime.
cool.
That was weird. I didn't watch it. Someone told me about it. I'm like, that can't exist. And then I looked it up, and I'm like, oh my God, that exists. And
This is a live-action film.
Okay.
Directed by Andrew Niccol, who also wrote The Truman Show, and he also directed Gattaca.
Yeah, at first I thought it was Venom until you said New Mexico.
I guess you could say.
And then I'm lost now.
I got nothing.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I got nothing.
That was another thought.
In fact,
Uh-oh.
It was a book that inspired the Twilight movies. And it wasn't Twilight.
Early evening.
I can hear Kathleen doing the Googling over there.
Oh no, I'm still writing my description. Sorry.
Sure.
I'm surprised.
I don't even have like a strand to start a Google strain.
I got nothing.
Down.
You can tell the difference
clearly
between a
Kathleen
human
is
and an
really
alien in the eyes. The eyes have a white glow to them, like a white ring glow.
Adding more detail isn't helping me.
All right.
You guys have anything?
The
Or am I the only
movie
one?
is
I got nothing.
I think they're lost too.
Yeah,
Yep.
not a clue.
All right, Nick, what is it?
Panel.
the movie is called The Host.
Oh.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but like I've seen that movie, and that I would not say that is what it is described as. So that's why I'm like, wait a minute. It's not.
Well, you have to take some liberties in your description if you're trying to get to the end without people guessing it. So.
True.
So there are a couple movies called The Host, I believe. This is in 2013.
Okay, so I saw a
particular.
different.
Possibly.
All right.
Yeah, because the one I know of is much older than that. So maybe a reboot? I don't know.
Could have been. Could it be? Possibly.
There was a
All right.
2006 version called The Host.
That might have been the one I saw.
Interesting. Okay.
I really have no idea.
It was like a Japanese monster movie.
That's the one I saw.
Okay. Yeah, this is
Yeah. That's why I'm like, wait a minute. The only one that I know of The Host is like very much not that.
Just a teensy weensy bit different.
Yeah,
So.
Japan, New Mexico. Just
Same
so
diff,
similar. It's
So
Same diff,
it was-
only
far apart.
only plateaus and deserts. No big deal.
It was I think it was in that string of movies where they were just like making a bunch of those like young adult.
Yeah, it was
books.
in there with the Twilight movies and Hunger Games and
Maze Runner,
Mhm.
Divergent.
Divergent. That was the one I couldn't come up with.
Which,
Okay.
according to my wife, who works at a bookstore, do you have any idea how many romance novels are literally just a copy of Twilight or like Raylo fan fiction? Those are the only two forms of romance available on the market these days.
That's
Is just,
sad.
do you want Twilight with different names or what people wanted out of Star Wars? That's it.
Weird.
It is really bad.
All right. Well, congratulations, Nick. You passed. Nobody got your.
Nobody had
got
any
your-
idea what that was.
But did I sell it? Did you want to watch it?
No.
No, because I'm still
No.
confused about it.
Yeah,
So-
I still have no idea what it is or what it's for.
Even after you said what it is, and I realized that I do know it, I don't want to watch it.
I thought it
All
had
right.
Morgan Freeman in it, but that was the other movie I was thinking of that I was confused by.
That was
Yeah, that
Evan
would-
Almighty. That was different.
It was actually Oblivion. but-
That was Bruce Almighty.
I thought he was in both. Could have been. All right.
Probably.
Yeah, he was.
I would
God.
watch the host if it were narrated by Morgan Freeman.
I'd watch just about anything narrated by Morgan Freeman, to be honest with you.
It's Morgan Freeman, come on.
Exactly. All right, Ben, tell us what you got. Sell us a sci-fi.
All right. So
Stop punching
Mo-
things.
it's a really great sci-fi. I love it. It starts with this bright-eyed kid. It's really cool. Him and his mom are like really close together. And then literally in the next scene, his dad leaves them. Just abandons the family, goes off to God knows where. So this bright-eyed kid turns into like this really degenerate like teenager over time, like
I got it.
breaking into government facilities kind of thing. Just doesn't care about the law, gets in trouble all the time, gets caught by the police, brought back to his mom. The police say, "Hey, your kid messes up one more time. That's it. They're in jail forever." Mom's barely able to afford anything, can't help out, get him into better schools and whatnot. So this weird, like, kind of uncle figure just goes, "Hey, let's go on an adventure. Let's just go. We got this cool thing that some old guy gave us when he died. So let's just take it and leave." And they did. And the uncle happens to be kind of filthy, stinking rich. So he buys a ship and a crew. And they take off into literally they don't know. And it's great. The kind of degenerate kid finds basically a surrogate father figure who's gaslighting him the entire time, literally just lying his ass off the whole time. Kid doesn't know. Everyone else kind of does. And then the entirety of the crew says, "Hey, we now are nearing our destination, so we're going to kill everyone." And they try, and they fail. The kid, the uncle, and a couple other people take off, run away. They find this really, like, weird dude who can't remember anything, but is just like, why not? Let's keep him. This is fun. The surrogate father figure, who is now just a mean person, comes back, tries to fight the kid. They end up going to basically a cave that's about to explode, but they don't care. And through a whole bunch of random shenanigans in the nearly exploding cave, the father figure goes, "Hey, maybe I actually do want to be a father figure," saves the kid, pulls him out of basically the exploding cave, and then they jump back on the ship and take off. You know, they're free, they're safe. And then at the last second, the father figure goes, "Hey, just like your real dad, I'm leaving." And that's basically the story.
One, I love this movie. It is on my top favorite list.
Yep.
But
But
that crazy character. Go ahead.
the reason this is technically a bad sci-fi movie is because though literally the entire population of people who have seen it love it, critically, it is considered one of the worst movies.
I have an
So-
idea what it is.
I know what it is.
Well, and that's what makes me think I know what it is.
All right.
All right, so I have for the first couple seconds I was like, he is telling us about Star Wars, but then it wasn't. So, all right, so is it animated?
Yes.
Titan AE.
Close. I also love that movie, but no.
Same era.
Hmm?
Relatively the same era.
Yeah, about. I do love the animation of Titan AE, though. It's so good, especially for when it came out. The animation still holds up to an extent.
All right, is it by Disney?
You had your chance. Someone else's turn to guess.
So in other words, yes. All right, so I know what it is then.
Okay.
Anybody
Nick-
else want to guess? Because I
Nick
know what it
thinks
is
he
now.
knows.
I
Chris,
know
Oh,
that.
I know. I can tell you the crazy person who that was played by.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Chris, you got any guesses here?
Since you said it was Disney, the only thing that possibly comes to mind is that now I can't even think of the name of it. It's the one that stars the character Milo, and it was I can't even think of the guy who voiced him now, but it had the Mike Magola type animation because I think he was a consultant on it, but I don't think I'm right.
You're thinking of Atlantis,
Yes,
and that is incorrect.
I knew it was, but that's what I thought.
Okay, so you want me to guess again, Nick, before you say yes or no?
I guess.
Because it was one of these two movies in my head, but I went with Titan AE first. So I'm thinking Treasure Planet.
Yep.
My favorite movie
I haven't
ever.
seen that in so long.
So both Titan AE and Treasure Planet were movies that my boys watched a lot when they were younger. But as you were going through the description, I was thinking that I was like, it's one or the other, but I went with Titan AE on like a coin flip in my head. So, but as soon as you said no, and then you wouldn't answer the fact that it was Disney related, then I knew exactly what it was.
I love that movie so much. Like, that is my go-to feel-good movie, despite, like, there's a whole
Abandonment.
reason why it failed in the box office and everything, but it's such a good movie.
Yeah, I remember having to buy that as soon as it came out on DVD for my kids. That because that was, that's not a bad movie night. That's a good duo right there.
It's a wonderful movie night.
Since the tiny
Grab
person had seen neither of those.
Oh,
Grab
You
her
could
popcorn.
totally throw a Titan AE in there too. Just
Titan
That'd be a
AE is
good
a
trio.
little more adult, surprisingly.
As long as there's no dogs dying in any of them, I'm good. We can watch them.
No, that's the Black Cauldron.
Yeah, you should be fine.
and
That is the
Futurama.
rule, though, is that John has to check and see if there's any dogs dying in a movie before I'll watch it.
That's fair.
You should watch Marley and Me.
No, that's one of the reasons why watching.
So anyway, Nick's-
and he's
Nick's
gone.
done for the night.
You said the magic words, Marley me.
I did it once. I did it once and cried for days.
I watched that movie
Oh no, it's
and the movie I Am Sam are on the no-fly list around my house. Those are just stab you right in the heart movies. Ugh.
I mean, I have a list of movies of the I need to cry. I'm going to watch this, but typically that's just Tarzan.
Yeah, Marley and Me and I Am Sam. I think those are probably the two of the movies that I have ugly cried the hardest to. Just like unexpected, This is a whole rant that has nothing to do with sci-fi, but it is a little bit pop culture related. So I mean, we're talking about sci-fi is pop culture, so we'll go there. That's my tie-in. But with Marley and Me, I didn't expect them to show the dog getting put down. And that's where I lost it. I was like, I was already sad enough knowing why they were going to the vet, and then they showed the dog on the table with like the
IV catheter.
the IV thing hooked to his precious little paw, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
So
was
I
so
will
mad.
tell the story because I know that she's watching. My mom loaned that book to my grandpa.
Oh no.
My grandpa threw the book at her the next time we were there with the, why would you have me read that? The dog dies. This book
That's
is
fair.
terrible.
That's a fair response.
If you want
He
to
was
cry though,
So mad at her.
if you want to cry at a dog movie,
No.
A Dog's Purpose.
Nope.
That no one told me what it was about. I never saw a trailer, nothing. Someone showed it to me on DVD. I'm like, yeah, why not? You know how you just said that you weren't expecting them to show like the whole putting them down thing? That is the first dog they show. There's
Nope,
more.
and checked out right there and done.
Yeah. There's more.
All right.
There's anyway.
And Chris.
Let me just cry in my mind now.
Exactly.
We've broken
All
the
right,
mood
let's-
dragon.
He broke out the mood dragon, exactly. All right, Chris, we're gonna reel this back into sci-fi.
All
Tell
right.
us which one you picked, buddy.
Oh, after these first two sales pitches, I think I'm gonna just crash and burn. But I'm gonna do my best here. All right. In a world, I had to do it at least once, but I'm not sure I can carry that all the way through. We have a time-tested hero. He has saved the world more times than anyone knows, but he's fallen into obscurity. However, a new threat arises, and he must step up. And not only does he step up, he brings others up with him. A long-lost love comes back and sees the man who he is now, not the man who he was. A newcomer whose life is filled with tragedy and disappointment finds the strength to step up and become the man he needs to be. An old friend shakes off the shackles of a lost memory and regains his mental strength. This hero not only strengthens the people around him, but also animals as well. By his mere presence, animals are able to just exceed their physical capabilities, and even inanimate objects. This man inspires things to create impossible deeds. They're able to withstand pressures and stresses that no one thought possible. And with this crackpot team, our hero is able to save the world once again.
This sounds so familiar.
Yeah, like 9 different movies just flashed into my head. I'm like, what? Who? Can we get some kind of like a setting that it's supposed to be in, just to help us out?
We're talking about, I think, the southwestern United States. So back to New Mexico, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
But it does globetrot a bit.
Do we have like a time frame?
The
time period, yeah.
Time period, I mean. Yeah. Is it going to give away too much if you say what like years this is supposed to do it in?
Perhaps, but
okay.
I think late 50s is good.
Late 50s.
So not Dr. Doolittle then. Okay. That's all I got out of that when you started talking about, working with the animals. I'm like, Dr. Doolittle, maybe?
You started saying inanimate objects, and my first thought was like the brave little toaster. I'm just like,
that would actually make this movie better.
Brave Little Toaster is a good movie.
No, I'm saying it would make my movie better.
Oh. How do we...
I got nothing. Which is just the story of my life today.
That's actually a really good description, Chris, because I think you got us all stumped.
Yeah.
Shall I reveal it?
Hang on. I need to do my thinking pose. Kathleen, this is your favorite, though.
I'm just over here setting paper on fire with an electric candle.
If I did that, I would look like Professor Xavier.
Got to get you
Cerebro. Yeah.
Yeah, got to get you the Cerebro helmet.
Though my wife will never let me cosplay as him because I'd have to shave this off. That's why when I go as One Punch Man, I have to either wear a mask or paint this like flesh colored.
One Punch Man.
There you go.
One Punch.
Was it made in 1950s or was it?
No.
Set in the 1950s.
Set in 1950s.
Well, I really don't know.
I got nothing.
All right, go ahead, Chris. Reveal it.
Indiana Jones in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh.
Okay. Hang on. That was literally my first thought as you were describing it until you said animals and inanimate objects start getting like bolstered by him. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's wrong.
I
The
watched that
monkeys,
movie
the
once.
monkeys chasing the Jeep. I've never seen monkeys swing and travel through trees at 60 miles an hour.
That's true.
And the refrigerator.
The refrigerator.
All right, that's kind of cheap.
Yeah, you got me on that one.
If you use the skull as an example, I'd be like, you got me. But that, the fridge.
But see, that's
It
the
is
thing. If I used the skull, it would have totally destroyed my purpose of trying to sell you on it.
Right.
And I was trying to sell you on it.
Because that's where I would have stopped watching. So
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad that they waited, the whole alien thing till the end of the movie, so I could, be unimpressed with the rest of it. So, all right, good job, Chris. You made it through. Nobody got it. All right, Kathleen, sell us a sci-fi.
All right. During an interplanetary conflict in which trading has been cut off to multiple planets, a peacekeeping officer and his student are sent to negotiate with leaders to stop the planned invasion. And when that fails, they rescue the leader of the planet and flee the planet. While fleeing, their ship is damaged and they are trapped on a different planet. They seek the help of a local shopkeeper and his child slave and his robot.
It's sounding a little familiar. Yeah, the pieces are starting to go together.
And, right? Are they starting to feel familiar? Yes, Tim?
Pick me. I know it.
Yes, I'm sure you do.
Okay, I'll shut up then.
I had so much fun writing this though. This was just great. I didn't even get that far into it because I'm like, they're going to get it, but they also all agree with it.
Hey, that was Wizard.
How dare you?
Are we talking about? So it's Willow, right? The movie Willow.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay.
Now.
I thought it was Footloose.
Footloose. Nobody puts baby in the corner.
So yes, the peacekeeping agent senses that the slave child has the potential to be important to his own peacekeeping belief systems.
Wow. Catholicism.
Oh, I had so much fun with this. He frees the slave child and brings him with him to meet his fellow peacekeeping workers. As they go to leave the planet, the main character, Peacekeeper, fights a big icky baddie who is sent to capture the leader that they have with them. Main character, Peacekeeper, seeks permission to train the young child in his belief system and is told no, and does it anyway.
That sounds
I knew I was going to
exactly
get like
in
3 seconds
character.
into it, and you guys are like, gosh.
I'm
right.
going to say it's the Chronicles of Riddick. Final answer.
Or go with Ghostbusters.
No,
I have
you know what? I think it's Ghostbusters 2, actually.
Yeah.
Thing, and you still know the movie.
And the power is with the NES Advantage.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So, Tim, because you were the first one who knew what it was, what is it?
It's definitely the Phantom Menace.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Oh, it's not Willow?
No, it's not.
I'm supposed to be the blonde here, Nick.
All right. Here's mine.
No rebuttal, no complaining that I did that one. No.
No. No, not at all.
We're also not even sure if Nick is like human.
John wants to see your game notes. Nice. All right, so here it is. There are a group of people who move into the desert, which is an area previously controlled by other people. We'll call them desert warriors, perhaps. Now, what lives underneath the sand responds to vibrations and will kill you if you're not careful. Now, the previous residents are far better equipped with far more impressive weapons, and they use these to not only defend themselves from invaders, but also to defend themselves against the things that live under the sand. Now, these under the sand creatures have to be hunted one by one to rid them of their home. And that's all I'm telling you.
Oh, okay. Was waiting for a little more there.
No, that's all I'm giving you.
So, Dune?
I was thinking Tremors as well.
Yeah.
Tremors and Dune are so very similar, though.
You started off with the vibrations and the things under the ground. I'm like, oh, it's Tremors. And then you're like, actually.
The first thing I thought of was Doom.
Okay.
But
All right,
Tremors is
it
also making
sounds-
sense.
It sounds wrong, though, for
My mom
some
is also
reason.
guessing Tremors.
What's that, Kathleen?
I said my mom is also guessing Tremors.
Is she? Okay.
She texted me.
Ah, okay. All right. Final answers, anyone?
The real question is, would Tim actually pick Tremors or Dune for this answer?
He would pick both.
I do know he did not like Doom, especially the original.
But he would also choose it to mess with us.
But would I though?
Yes, you would.
But would I though?
Don't try the Jedi mind trick over there. I know.
Tim, just with that, you would make an excellent DM.
But would
I opened the door. Are you sure about that?
Is that the door you want to open?
You are now
How do
stuck
you-
to the
how
door,
do you
door with a
open it?
mimic.
Yeah.
Everything's a mimic.
All right. Final answers. Who's got one? What do you think?
I'll say
Or-
Doom.
All right. My answer is Chris is correct. It is Tremors, or
Woo!
AKA Redneck Dune.
Mhm.
Redneck Dune.
Literally the same movie, just with Kevin Bacon.
One of them is set in
Yeah.
New Mexico. One of them is set on a planet on, somewhere else. It's essentially the same movie.
Yeah. Which
I
is
will
why we're
fight
all
you.
like, where we're all doing the Tremors, Dune. Tremors, Dune.
Everything's better with bacon.
Bacon. I should get the bacon out of the freezer so I can make something. with bacon.
Except X-Men Origins.
I actually really like him in that. I'll be honest
I
with you.
didn't.
He was a little underused, but he wasn't bad.
He was in that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally the main
Nick.
villain.
He's the main bad guy who teaches Magneto to be a bad guy.
Did you
He
just call
kills the
him
only guy,
Magneto?
the only character who's supposed
I
to
called
be
him-
invincible.
I called him Magneto
How dare you?
because I can. All right. Sorry. Good job selling the sci-fi tonight, guys. Very good. Very good. Because we've only got about 20 minutes left, I do want to talk about this a little bit. This Friday, we have ObiWan Kenobi coming out.
Kenobi!
And the reason why that this is so important or so something I wanted to talk about tonight is because of something that was put out just a little bit ago by Disney Plus, the UK, their Twitter account. But before that, because Ben did that, I have to do this. I mean, it's Maul. I have to.
Talk to him.
Respect.
Can we get him on the podcast for the Kenobi review?
I would love to get Sam Witwer to come back on the podcast. That would be amazing.
He was a
But-
fantastic guest for you guys. That
Oh,
was so
thank
much
you.
fun to watch.
He's probably
was so
blocked
much-
us and has blocked that from his memory.
It's fair. But hey, let's bring up this image real quick. Here it is. This is from Disney Plus UK, and what their recommended watch list is for coming up leading into Kenobi. So on Friday, May 20th, they suggested The Phantom Menace. On the 21st, they want Attack of the Clones. 22nd, they want us to watch the Clone Wars movie. So today we should be watching Clone Wars Season 2, Episodes 12 through 16. Tomorrow, watch Season 4, Episodes 15 through 18. The 25th, Wednesday, Clone Wars Season 5, Episodes 14 through 16. And then Thursday, Revenge of the Sith. And then, of course, Friday, start off with Clone Wars. Now, does anyone want to venture a guess as to why I think it's kind of interesting that they've recommended some of the Clone Wars seasons?
Yeah.
I would
So,
say, go ahead.
some of those I know are with Satine.
Two of the sets are with Satine.
Mm.
So that's why I'm like, this is going to be depressing.
Season 2 and Season 4 of the Clone Wars. It's the introduction of Satine, and the backstory. You get a little bit of backstory about her and Obi's past, and then season 4 is the death of Duchess Satine. Go ahead, Chris.
I readily confess I have never watched Clone Wars, and I know I have to now watch it to regain my geek cred. For those who may not know who this is, who is Satine?
So Duchess Satine is the Queen of Mandalore. Well, not the queen, not really the queen. She's the Duchess.
The Duchess.
She's the ruling figure of Mandalore at that time, and so she is the person who took Mandalore from being a fighting warrior like nation to being a pacifist nation where they were peaceful, and she was trying to keep them out of the any fight really. She didn't want to be involved in the Clone Wars. She didn't want the Clone Wars coming to Mandalore. She didn't want her people leaving to go fight in the Clone Wars, anything along those lines. So, she tried keeping as separate from it as possible.
And she's kinda a love interest to Obi-Wan.
I have heard that. I have heard that there. That name did sound familiar. I just didn't know exactly the extent of her relationship within the greater Star Wars universe. But I know that he and she had some kind of relationship. I did hear that.
So the backstory behind that is, while Obi-Wan was still a Padawan, Duchess Satine was basically targeted for assassination, and he was tasked to keep her safe. So they went into hiding together. That's actually where he took on the name for the first time of Ben instead of Obi-Wan.
Okay.
Which is why in one of the episodes she calls him Ben instead of Obi. But I don't. It's going to be a spoiler. Yeah. Okay. Listen, there's a whole thing with that I would love to go into, but we literally don't have enough time for that. We would need days.
Oh, I firmly believe that Corky Cries is the child of Obi-Wan. Firmly, wholeheartedly. As a matter of fact, when we had Anna Graves on, and we asked her about that, and she could neither confirm nor deny if that was the case, but she did say that she thought it was a little odd that Corky was her nephew, but canonically, there's no mention of Bo, her only sister, having a child. So,
literally never mentions that she has a kid either.
Right. So yeah. I mean, draw from that what you will, but I have the moment that Corky walked on screen, the very first time I watched that, I was like, "That's Obi's kid."
And they don't draw them to look similar if they don't mean for us to think that.
Right. There's definite similarities between him and there's the Cries features and there's Kenobi features in him. So
you could really see it in not only just the hair, but the eyes don't match Satine's at all.
Right.
You're just
But they match Obi.
So what I'm curious of is why do they want us to watch the Satine backstory issues? Are we going to see Obi having flashbacks of, Love's Lost? Or is there going to be an introduction to, because look, he'd be about the proper age for the time when this is all happening on Tatooine for Corky to come into the picture in live action. It's a possibility.
The door of the sand hut, just goes, "Dad, we need your help."
Don't give that lightsaber to that other kid, Dad. Let me have it. So yeah,
help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're our only hope.
Help me, Daddy. You're my only hope.
Mm-hmm.
And the other set of Clone Wars, is that the Inquisitors?
No, that's the Racco Hardeen story where he goes undercover with the genetic modifications, to
the fake face.
The fake face.
Really?
Yeah. So they want you to watch the two Satine stories, the Racco Hardeen story, and then the Clone Wars movie.
Why is it that Racco Hardeen sounds like Racco Sardines, and that just my brain hurts?
My thought with Corky isn't that the Inquisitors are going to use him, but that he will be an Inquisitor.
Oh.
If we know anything of like the Skywalker lineage, the like strength in the Force transfers to your kids. So if he is technically a Kenobi, he will be strong in the Force, and the Inquisitors could definitely like pervert.
Could use that for sure.
Interesting.
I'm going to bring this comment up from our friend Darth Chaco. He says, my thought is that there's just aren't a whole lot of arcs that truly develop ObiWan. He's not wrong.
That's true.
Most of the stuff in the Clone Wars doesn't really show or develop anything that has to do with Obi-Wan's personality or character type or things along those lines. You see it in little bits here and there, but there aren't dedicated stories. And the Satine stories really do show a lot about of Obi and who he was and his personality type. The fact that he wouldn't follow the love, that he would stick to the way of the Jedi, is also,
I think Dave Filoni said that like the main characters of the Clone Wars are the clones, Ahsoka, and then Anakin.
Right.
Like Obi-Wan's more of a side character than anything else, despite having like a major role, but he's not the focus. So it makes sense why there's not nearly as many episodes focusing on him.
Right. He's a side character in the sense that he's I won't call him a side, he's a support character.
Support. That's what I meant. Sorry. He's
definitely there for to support the other storylines, the other character developments. I mean, because we're mainly going to see I would actually put Anakin ahead of Ahsoka personally, because throughout the entirety of the Clone Wars, you're watching the descent of Anakin Skywalker. You're watching him, from the start where he was, full on, hey ho, let's go, I'm a Jedi all the way, to at the end where he's starting to question things, what's going on and how it's happening, why it's happening, and then going to straight up Vader. So
hey, ho ho, Ben Kenobi's got to go.
Something like that, yes, Nick.
That actually did make me think with the Racco Hardeen storyline.
Yeah,
I honestly think that was the true like pivot point in the turn to Vader, because that was Anakin just fully on the path of revenge.
Oh sure.
And I think instead
they
of
completely
that,
hid it from him.
I think in that regard, I don't think they want you to see those episodes to get a look at Obi-Wan. I think they want you to watch those to look at the early Vader.
Yeah.
Because we know Vader's going to be in Kenobi. So that's why I think those are there.
That's true. That's a good out. Yeah.
And they also have Revenge of the Sith in there too. Wait, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it back up on the screen. So there's Revenge of the Sith, there's the Clone Wars movie. And I'm thinking too that I think part of this is that they're going to show a tie-in, they're going to use it as a tie-in back to Ahsoka, and that's why we're watching some of the Clone Wars, the movie, right? And because she's not mentioned in the live action movies, of course. But
I think Ben is right. It is a story of Anakin's descent, so you know where Anakin's coming from. It's going to focus on Kenobi, but I think we'll probably get a little more Anakin in there too.
Right. Yeah, I think there's some really cool things. I'm very curious as to what we're going to exactly see. What's going on. And moving forward, and how that's all going to play out with Friday's release. Let's see. Darth Chaco says Dave Filoni confirmed that the Racco Hardeen arc was actually Palpatine's first attempt to turn Anakin. It was just told through Obi-Wan's eyes. That makes sense to me.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That storyline has something to do with Kenobi, but the reason they're putting it in there is for Vader.
Yeah. Yeah, I can get with that. That makes sense to me, honestly.
So who? Let's go back a second. Sorry, who killed Satine? Is that another conversation?
That is a whole story, but Tim, if you want to bring up the video from 2 seconds ago. To give the answer properly.
Oh.
Hang on.
So that was the answer.
And
Yeah.
There's your criminal right there.
Yeah, the whole point of Maul being in the Clone Wars is basically him trying to get revenge on Kenobi the whole time. That's what everything that happens. Maul is looking for a way to get back at Kenobi to repay him for making him a half-off sale.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So my thought is, and again, I'm coming from this with a lot, greener vision. You guys. I understand that this is to paint a more vivid picture of Anakin's descent, but maybe they want us to watch those episodes so we see Kenobi's resolve, to show what he has gone through, what he has lost, and yet he still is a stalwart character. And to see the juxtaposition of those two, and to see the continued growth of that relationship up until they fight like old men.
No, I think that's definitely part of it too, John. Nice. Maul is the Coyote, Kenobi's the Roadrunner.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. So, all right. So yeah. So, we have a lot of. All we have is a couple small trailers to go off of right now, and a whole lot of ideas of what it might, sort of, could, kind of be. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up this Friday. Remember, there's not 1 but 2 episodes being released on Friday. So don't call me, talk to me, text me anything before noon. Your calls, texts, and whatever smoke signals will be duly ignored until Maul. Not Maul, but Kenobi has been watched. I'm probably watching a little Maul as well. But yeah. But anyway, so that's coming up on Friday.
Another thing coming up on Friday.
Exactly. But hold on. Before we get to that, I know we're running short on time here. But again, Chris, if you would, please remind everybody where they can find you and what your show is about, please.
Definitely. Thanks, Tim. And thanks, everyone, for having me tonight. I really appreciated it. You can find me on Scar Bearers, which can be found on Apple Podcasts. Also, look on YouTube. It's Chris DT Gordon. And my website is chrisdtgordon.com, where you can find the podcasts and also get an idea of what I speak about, which is the attitude of gratitude.
There you go. Very good. And Ben, remind people where they can find you on TikTok, please.
So I'm on TikTok at Hardy_healer, where I make a bunch of random different kinds of content. I'm currently in the middle of planning like 8,000 other things, so I'm going to figure that out. But before we get to full sign-offs, at what point do you think we're going to see Vader, and at what point do you think we're going to see Kenobi cry?
Episode 2.
I don't think we'll see Vader till episode 4.
You think they're going to make us wait that long?
Yes, I think.
No.
I don't think we'll see Vader till halfway through the series.
I have a feeling that's why they're doing 2 episodes in one day, though, is that they're going to throw Vader into the end of episode 2 just to appease us.
I would be shocked if they did, because I think they want to tease
Vader.
it. Yeah, there might
it'll
be hints
probably
of
be
it.
like a silhouette or just the breathing or
Yeah,
something
someone
just
walking up going, Master Hayes, something's up, and then just
Lord Vader, and then somebody walks in, Lord Vader, we have him, and you're here, and then
which even knowing that Vader is not real, hearing that there's Vader breathing behind you anywhere is terrifying.
Always gets my attention and makes me giggle with excitement because he's one of my favorite villains of all time.
The Darth Vader that kept following me around Monroe Pop Fest and intentionally scaring me was hilarious. But,
look, John was just out of breath. That's not fair. All right.
It's not me being mean to my husband this time.
All right, Nick, go ahead.
All right, so last Friday, our guest was the very first to make a return trip to the Funny Science Fiction podcast. He's the only human on Earth to have written for Mystery Science Theater 3000 and Doctor Who, not to mention an Emmy-winning writer for Phineas and Ferb's Candace Against the Universe. Enjoy the trailer for Joshua Pruitt.
Hi, this is Josh Pruitt, and you're listening to the Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
He tells us a wonderful story of the day that he got to listen to them recording his episode.
Which is super cool.
It was really cool. Yeah.
And you can still find that episode of the Funny Science Fiction on our YouTube channel and your favorite audio podcast providers.
And remember that your subscription to our YouTube channel is a major help. So please do not forget to click the like and subscribe as you watch the videos. But this Friday, after you watch Kenobi, totally after, I get it. Our guest
Legit.
this Friday is an up-and-coming actress who you might have seen in movies and shows such as Crips Fight Night, 5150, a My Chemical Romance music video, and even Star Trek Picard.
Hi, this is Adele Pomeranke, and you're listening to the Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
So this Friday you'll get
So
to meet
excited.
Adele Pomeranke. She's an up and coming actress that I really think you're about to see a whole lot more of. We have a really fun and great conversation with her. And matter of fact, Mr. Ben guest hosted with us on that show. So
I
you'll get
was
to see
there.
him-
She's really cool.
Exactly. You'll get to see him ask her some questions. And if you haven't already seen it, you can watch Picard Season 2, and you will find her there as Ensign Kemi. So be sure to tune in this Friday. Again, totally legit. Wait till after you've seen Kenobi. We will not be offended at all because
Or you can watch
I'm
it
not-
while waiting for your spouse to get home from work.
We will also be watching Kenobi and nothing else.
exactly. So it's completely understood. But tune in
Including
this
our
Friday
children.
morning. Exactly. Well, that's your problem. But tune in Friday morning. You can watch us on YouTube, or you can, of course, listen to it on your favorite audio podcast provider. All right, guys. Hey, Chris and Ben, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you for putting up with our madness and our insanity because we barely got this thing off the ground today.
No worries. Thank you again for having me. I greatly appreciate it. And I just felt right at home. So it's okay.
Excellent.
Do you also live in a zoo?
Pretty much so.
See, there you go.
The flinging poop, it ebbs and flows.
It happens.
I was gonna ask if you live in like the sterile containment unit that Nick exists in.
It's really the lampshade being
Everything is
the
real, I
same color
promise.
as the wall.
Yeah, the fact that everything is the same, like just off white kind
Thank
of
you
color.
for not wearing a gray shirt tonight too, Nick. That would have just been too much.
Yeah.
Would you stop flinging things over there?
Well, he
least it's
mentioned
not
flinging poo. That's the only thing I could find. I was fresh out of poo. So
Oh,
right.
thankfully. Or
On that
thankfully.
note,
Anyway,
on that note, goodbye, everybody. Hey, thanks so much for watching the Funny
Bye-bye.
Science Fiction Podcast. Please don't judge us badly for this.
it
Okay,
might
bye.
be better.
you
next
can judge us. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I won't.
On behalf of the rest of the hosts of Funny Science Fiction, we'd like to thank you for listening to this episode. If you'd like to be a guest on one of our future episodes, please contact us by means of our Facebook group, Funny Science Fiction. You can find us on Twitter or Instagram using the handle @FunnySciFi, or you can go to DraytonAllen.com and click the Contact Me link at the bottom of the page. Thanks again. Hope you enjoyed the episode.